Supergirl is back, even though it never left, but I'm back to reviewing it though, because as you probably noticed, I haven't reviewed any of these episodes since the first one, and that's honestly just because these past couple episodes here with the whole Phantom Zone thing, it's just boring. Like, I wasn't really into it, so I was like, well, I'm not going to take the time to make a whole 10-minute video about these episodes if I'm bored with it and don't really care about it, because then that would just be a rant every week, and nobody wants to see that, unless you do, but most people don't. So I really took my time watching these, and I wasn't really in a rush to watch them. Literally, last week's episode, I just watched that yesterday, just a couple hours before the new episode came out. But I absolutely loved it, because it was a two-part thing, so that's why I'm reviewing the second part, because I love the first part so much, and I love the second part just as much, because we returned to Midvale, and guys, I love this. I don't remember. I remember the Midvale episode before. I don't remember what season it was, but I remember I did really enjoy it, and I wanted more of it, and now we got it here for the final season, so I think this is awesome, and honestly, if Supergirl gets a spin-off series, you know, it would be cool if it was something like, oh, the Legion of Superheroes or Martian Manhunter. Those would be awesome. But honestly, if we got a Midvale spinoff, I would not be complaining at all, because I love these episodes. They were just so good and way better than every other episode of this season. So, yeah, I just absolutely loved it. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about here because a lot went down. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Spoiler warning, because we are breaking this thing down in depth. But anyways, guys, let's get started. So we start off this episode right after last episode's ended off with a cliffhanger with the whole to be continued thing. And this is where Kara, she is now, or young Kara, is now going to save Brandon and Brenda, aka Brainy and Nia, because that's their secret disguise names that they're using here. Also, I want to point out that this actress that is playing young Kara, she looks so much like Melissa Benoist, like, especially wearing the glasses. She looks just like Kara, so that's also awesome there. But during this whole battle here versus Naxim Torque and the other blue alien guy, Cat Grant is there, or should I say CJ Grant, and she is watching the whole thing. She's actually got a drone that she paid some kid $20 for, so she's recording the whole thing on a drone. She's watching it, and she's trying to get this big journalist story at the Daily Planet so that she can win a Pulitzer Award and become famous, more famous than Lois Lane and all that stuff. So that's her big plan in this episode, and so that's definitely not good that she now has that footage and that she's seen all this stuff. But after this, that's pretty much like, oh, the day is saved, Naxim Torque is taken out, and we're all good. So everybody says their goodbyes. It's like, all right, yeah, have fun, go do that. So then Kara and Kenny, they go to the prom, and then Brainy and Nia are getting ready to go to the prom. They have this cool little scene where they dance, and it was nice, you know, nice romantic part here. And as we can see, their relationship is definitely blossoming again, especially that ending there. But then, of course, Kat, being Kat, or CJ, I'm just going to call her Kat, because even though she was called CJ in this episode, I'm just going to call her Kat, because that's what we usually call her. So Kat, she, of course, accidentally releases Naxim Torque, so that's not good at all. So then he attacks the prom, and that's when Kenny says that he's the Kryptonian, so then that way they take him up instead of Kara. So now Kenny and Kat are now hostages of Naxim Torque. So everybody's got to go save him. They got to go power up, become superheroes again, and go save everybody. And right before they go up there, Dreamer actually unlocks this new power, which is pretty cool. I think Brainy called it lucid dreaming, where she can now actually bring dreams to life, which is awesome. I mean, she had this pink cougar and just brought it to life. That was awesome. That was really cool. I thought that was a cool new power up for that character. And so then anyways, everybody goes up to the ship. Kara's up there, Brainy and Nia, they all go up there to battle Naxim Torque. But then, of course, things go wrong again when some plutonium land sharks are released. We never actually get to see them, but they do mention that they're released. And then the police show up and Kara exposes herself. And basically everything that can go wrong is going wrong here. So we need a plan. Well, Nia's like, well, we literally have a time machine, so let's just travel back in time a couple of hours and prevent Kat from releasing Maxim Torque. So that is what they do, but unfortunately Kara actually hitches a ride with them, and it doesn't really affect things too much, but she's there with them too. So then Nia is able to convince Kat to give up this whole Midvale thing that, oh, it's the luckiest place on Earth and there's somebody there with superpowers. So then she goes off and she decides to start up Catco, and we see her little drawing there with the picture of the cat, and it says Catco. So that, of course, sets up for the future of Catco, and then later Kara will actually become a journalist there, and all that stuff that we saw from the first couple of seasons in the show, which also really makes me wish that Kat, like, adult present day Kat, could have actually been in the show, because she was one of my favorite characters on the show. Would have been nice if she could have returned for the final season, but at least we have a version of her in this final season. So now the day is saved once again. So Nia and Brainy and Kara, they travel back to a couple of hours later, and this is where we get basically our ending here, where Kara, she finally tells Kenny that she is leaving Midvale and she has been accepted to National City University. So she's going there, but he can't go with her because he's just got to stick to the community college. They need to just basically the breakup. I mean, it's sad, but at the same time, it's time to move on. Or at least Kenny isn't dead this time, because in the original timeline, he was dead. But now he's alive, so that's a plus, even though he's not with Kara anymore. But now, Brainy and Nia, they finally have the kryptonite with Kara's blood on it, and that they needed. And then they kiss, so I think their relationship is officially back on track here, so that's pretty nice. And then I love how when they start traveling back to present day, it's got kind of like a light speed thing going on there, because of course yesterday when this episode dropped, it was May 4th, aka May the 4th, Star Wars Day, so I thought that was a cool little reference there. I don't know if they actually planned that on purpose, but it was a cool little reference, and that's where the episode ends, guys, and we'll see what happens next week, because it seems like we're getting back to the whole boring Phantom Zone thing that I don't really care too much about. But I will still review it, though, most likely, because it is apparently the mid-season finale. So, I mean, makes sense, because the week after next week, Superman and Lois is finally back. So, I'm super excited for that, guys. But for now, anyway, Supergirl, we got one episode left, and then I think it doesn't come back until August. So yeah, it's going to be a while, but again, I just love these Midvale episodes. They're so good, and like I said, honestly, if they gave us a Midvale spinoff, I would absolutely love that, because I don't think it would really be like a superhero show. I feel like it would just be a good show that I would really enjoy watching. I think that'd just be awesome, but anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What did you think about this episode of Supergirl Season 6? Do you like the Midvale thing? Would you like a spin-off? Or are you into the whole Phantom Zone thing that they're doing in present day? So, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.